Caroline Glachan was born in Derry, Northern Ireland, to loving parents William and Margaret Glachan. After 5 miscarriages, her parents cherished her deeply as their only child. Her parents' unwavering affection and support shaped Caroline's childhood, creating a nurturing environment filled with love and care. Seeking better opportunities and a close-knit community, the family relocated to Bonhill in Scotland, a quaint town known for its picturesque landscapes and welcoming residents. In Bonhill, Caroline blossomed into a bright and cheerful young girl. She attended Our Lady and St. Patrick High School in Dumbarton, where she was known for her friendliness, academic diligence, and enthusiasm in extracurricular activities. Unfortunately, her parents divorced when Caroline was only 7 years old. This was very traumatic for Caroline, as she had to stay with her mother because her father was a soldier. She adored her father and would rather have wanted to be with him. By August 1996, Caroline was a 4th-year pupil, making her way through the challenges and experiences of adolescence. She was a 14-year-old girl who had dreams and aspirations, like many girls her age, and a future that seemed full of promise. On the night of August 24, 1996, Caroline invited her best friend Joanne Menzies for a sleepover while her mother was out celebrating her 40th birthday. They walked outside, past the Ladyton shops, at 23:45 p.m., when Caroline said she intends to meet her boyfriend, Robert O'Brien, at a bridge. Despite her best friend's warnings to avoid the rendezvous, she went, and Joanne went back to Caroline's house. Robert was 18 years old at the time, but despite her mother's reservations about the age gap, Caroline was infatuated with him. The relationship started that summer, and the couple attended the Oasis concert at Balloch Castle County Park just 3 weeks before. This meeting, meant to be a brief encounter typical of young love, would tragically become Caroline's last. Her chosen path led her to Dilchip Bridge, a well-known shortcut she often used. The bridge connected to the river towpath, offering a quicker, though more secluded route. Sadly, Caroline never reached her destination. The next day, her partially clothed body was discovered in the River Leven, near the place of Bonhill in Renton, by a passerby. The picturesque river had become the scene of a horrifying tragedy. As investigators delved into the circumstances of her demise, it became clear she had suffered severe injuries. Extensive blunt force trauma to her scalp, face, and neck had resulted in her being unconscious. News of her brutal slaying sent shockwaves through the close-knit community, plunging her family and friends into profound grief and despair. Law enforcement officials launched an immediate and thorough investigation, seeking to unravel the mystery of that fateful night. The serene riverbanks and quiet pathways turned into sites of intense scrutiny as detectives combed for evidence and solicited information from the public. The day Caroline's body was discovered by the police was tragically her mother's 40th birthday. This cruel twist of fate deepened the family's anguish, as what should have been a day of celebration turned into one of unimaginable sorrow. A pathologist determined that Caroline had sustained 10 significant blows to the head, which had rendered her unconscious before she was submerged in the river. Further investigation revealed that a group of teenagers had viciously attacked her, subjecting her to verbal abuse and repeatedly kicking and punching her head and body with a blunt object. In 1996, this group's 4 individuals' names were widely circulated in the village, but there was never enough evidence to arrest and charge them. The main reason was that they all rigidly stuck to the same alibi and told officers they spent the night in an apartment in Allen Crescent. Although the assault was brutal, the ultimate cause of demise was determined to be drowning. The community was shattered by the senseless loss of such a young life. On February 26, 1997, Caroline's funeral was held in Alexandria, drawing mourners from across the region. Friends, family, and community members gathered to pay their respects and say their final goodbyes. The service was a poignant reminder of the young life that had been so violently taken, leaving behind a void that could never be filled. The grief was palpable, but so too was the resolve to remember Caroline and seek justice for her untimely demise. Despite the launch of an extensive investigation, the case remained unsolved for years, leaving the community in a state of ongoing grief and uncertainty. It was not until June 2019 when Police Scotland's major investigation team re-examined the case that new hope emerged for solving the mystery. The renewed investigation involved re-interviewing residents of Allen Crescent. This is where Robert O'Brien, along with Andrew Kelly, Sarah Jane O'Neill, and Donna Brand, had claimed to spend the night of Caroline's demise. A critical breakthrough came from an upstairs neighbor, Linda Dorian, who revealed she had seen 4 people leave the house with 2 small children. The group walked down Allen Crescent and crossed Main Street, which connects Renton to Alexandria, and then went toward the River Leven. This contradicted earlier accounts and added significant new details to the timeline of events. On the night in question, Andrew and Sarah were babysitting 2 young boys, Archie Wilson, aged 4, and his baby brother Jamie. They were later joined by Robert O'Brien and his pregnant girlfriend Donna. The group, including the young children, left the apartment together. When they returned more than an hour later, Linda heard a loud commotion and an argument. She heard one of them say something along the lines of, "That was not meant to happen. That went too far. How is this going to look?" It suggested that something significant had occurred during their absence. The new information aligned with the account given by 4-year-old Archie Wilson the day after Caroline's life was taken. Archie had told his mother Betty that he had been near the river and witnessed a fight, during which Caroline fell into the water. At the time, his statement seemed unclear and was difficult to act upon. Once Caroline's body was found, there were all these rumors, so they thought Archie had picked up on those. However, with the neighbors' corroborating testimony, Archie's innocent observations became a vital piece of evidence. The reinvestigation brought a renewed sense of urgency and hope to Caroline's case. Detectives worked meticulously to piece together the events of that tragic night, aiming to bring justice to Caroline and closure to her grieving family and community. This breakthrough marked a significant step forward in the decades-long quest to solve the brutal demise of a young girl whose life was tragically cut short. In November 2021, 3 individuals were charged with her slaying: Robert O'Brien, aged 45, Andrew Kelly, aged 44, and Donna Marie Brand, also aged 44. Sarah Jane O'Neill, who had also been implicated in the case, had passed away before she could be charged. The trial commenced in November 2023 at the High Court in Glasgow, drawing widespread attention and reopening old wounds for the community and Caroline's loved ones. Archie was never the same after what he witnessed. Now in his early 30s, he was deemed unfit to give evidence during the trial. Caroline's childhood friend, Joanne Menzies, 42, told the court, O'Brien had threatened to take the life of Caroline for kissing another boy, and that she had seen him bully her on more than one occasion. On December 14, 2023, O'Brien, Kelly, and Brand were found guilty of taking Caroline's life. The verdict was delivered at the High Court in Glasgow, concluding a case that had haunted investigators and the community for decades. Notably, all three convicted individuals had been teenagers at the time of the crime. The community asked why this evidence was not gathered in 1996. Detective Inspector Granger said it appeared that the relevant questions were simply not asked. He said another obstacle was that in the late 1990s, illegal substances were rife in Renton and the surrounding area, and several potential witnesses were criminals themselves who lived chaotic lives. Caroline's teenage perpetrators were all illegal substance users who shoplifted to fund their habits. In January 2024, the sentencing phase brought some measure of closure. Passing sentence, Lord Braid said, "You have taken a daughter from a loving mother." Miss McKeach has spoken of the pain that Caroline's demise has caused, the void her demise has left that will never be filled. She has been deprived of seeing the woman that Caroline would have become. No sentence that I pass could possibly make up for what she has lost. O'Brien and Kelly were both sentenced to life imprisonment. O'Brien was given a minimum term of 22 years before he would be eligible for parole. In the years following the slaying, O'Brien went on to have the child with Brand, and he was jailed for attempted murder and a serious assault. He was the main perpetrator in this case, as he inflicted the harm on Caroline. Kelly was set to serve a minimum of 18 years. Brand was unfit to attend court and was only sentenced on April 22 to a minimum of 17 years imprisonment via video call. The sentencing marked a pivotal moment for Caroline's family and friends, most especially her father and mother Margaret McKeach. She had the following to say: "This is the day that I have been waiting for 27 years." And she added, "It is not going to bring Caroline back, but it is justice for her. I do not know if closure is the right word, but justice has certainly been done." The community of Bonhill, still marked by the tragedy, found some solace in the resolution of a case that had deeply affected them for so long. The convictions and sentences served as a reminder of the persistence and dedication of law enforcement in seeking justice, no matter how much time has passed. Though the pain of her loss endures, this resolution honors Caroline's memory and highlights the relentless pursuit of justice. Both O'Brien and Kelly have launched a bid for freedom after the sentencing and intend to appeal their convictions and life sentences. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if a promising future was snatched away in a blink of an eye? What if justice seemed out of reach for over 2 decades? Tara Louise Baker was a 23-year-old first-year law student at the University of Georgia, poised for a bright and impactful future. Known for her intelligence and determination, Tara had always been a standout student. She graduated from Lovejoy High School in 1995, where she was admired by teachers and peers alike for her academic achievements and vibrant personality. Her journey continued at Georgia College in Milledgeville, where she pursued undergraduate degrees with a focus that reflected her ambition and commitment to her goals. Tara's time at Georgia College was marked by academic excellence, participation in extracurricular activities, and the forging of lasting friendships. Her success and experiences during these years solidified her decision to pursue a career in law, a field where she aspired to make a significant difference. In the fall of 2000, Tara embarked on the next chapter of her life as a law student at the University of Georgia. She quickly distinguished herself as a hard-working and passionate student, respected by both her professors and classmates. Tara's future was filled with promise as she navigated the challenges of law school with the same dedication that had characterized her educational journey thus far. However, Tara's life took an unexpected and tragic turn on January 19, 2001. On that fateful day, the vibrant and determined young woman's promising journey was cut short, leaving her family, friends, and the University of Georgia community in shock and mourning. On the evening of January 18, 2001, Tara Baker was last seen by her friend around 7:30 p.m. at the University of Georgia Law School Library. Later that night, at approximately 9 p.m., Tara made a call to that same friend to ensure they had arrived home safely. During their conversation, she mentioned her plans to leave the library by 10 p.m. Unfortunately, this would be the last time anyone heard from her. The following morning, on January 19, 2001, firefighters from Athens, Clarke County were called to a fire at Tara's apartment on 160 Fawn Drive in Athens, Georgia. As they battled the blaze, they made a devastating discovery: Tara's body. Investigation soon revealed that the fire had been deliberately set, a cruel act of arson intended to cover up a heinous crime that had ended the life of the young, promising law student. Tara's demise sent shockwaves through the University of Georgia and the surrounding community. The response from law enforcement was swift, launching an immediate and thorough investigation to uncover the circumstances surrounding her tragic demise. Detectives combed through evidence, interviewed potential witnesses, and followed numerous leads, all in an effort to bring the perpetrator to justice. Despite these extensive efforts, the investigation into Tara Baker's case soon hit an end. For 23 years, her case remained unresolved, a cold case that left her family, friends, and the community in a state of prolonged grief and uncertainty. The lack of closure and the relentless passage of time only deepened the anguish felt by those who loved her. Throughout these years, Tara's mother never relinquished her quest for justice. She kept her memory alive, persistently advocating for renewed interest and attention to her case. Tara's story became a symbol of a vibrant life cut tragically short and a call for justice that echoed through the community. The unresolved nature of Tara's case highlights the inherent challenges in slaying investigations. Advances in forensic science and investigative techniques offered new hope, yet the answers remained frustratingly out of reach. Nevertheless, the commitment to finding justice for Tara persisted, reflecting the enduring impact of her life and the collective desire for resolution. In June 2023, the Georgia General Assembly unanimously passed the Coleman-Baker Act. The act requires state and local law enforcement agencies to develop procedures to initiate a review of unsolved cases to determine if a full reinvestigation of the case could lead to new evidence or the identity of the perpetrator. The law further provides an avenue for families that disagree with the findings of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to have an administrative law judge review the case. It also required law enforcement to look into unsolved cases if more than 6 years had passed. The act is named for Rhonda Sue Coleman and Tara Louise Baker. In September 2023, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI's Cold Case Unit, joined forces with the Athens, Clarke County Police Department. They conducted an in-depth review and analysis of the ongoing investigation into Tara Baker's demise. This renewed effort was driven by advances in forensic technology and investigative techniques, coupled with a steadfast hope to finally bring closure to a case that had haunted the community for over 2 decades. The collaborative investigation aimed to re-examine every piece of evidence, scrutinize previous witness statements, and explore new leads. Detectives meticulously revisited the crime scene, re-interviewed individuals connected to the case, and employed cutting-edge forensic methods to uncover any overlooked details. This comprehensive approach was designed to piece together the puzzle that had eluded them for so long. Investigators were particularly hopeful that modern DNA analysis and other advanced forensic tools could shed new light on the case. Technologies that were unavailable or in their infancy at the time of Tara's demise were now being leveraged to re-examine evidence with fresh eyes and new capabilities. This included retesting biological samples, analyzing digital footprints, and utilizing enhanced crime scene reconstruction techniques. The partnership between the GBI and Athens Clarke County Police Department was marked by a renewed sense of determination and collaboration. Both agencies were committed to leaving no stone unturned in their pursuit of justice for Tara. They understood that solving this case would not only bring solace to Tara's family and friends, but also reinforce the community's trust in their dedication and perseverance. Tara's family, having endured years of uncertainty and grief, expressed cautious optimism renewed investigation. They hoped that this joint effort would finally provide the answers they had been desperately seeking and bring the perpetrator to justice. The community, too, rallied behind the investigative teams, offering support and sharing any new information that might aid in solving the case. On Thursday, May 9, 2024, state and county investigators announced a significant breakthrough in the long-standing case of Tara Baker. Edric Lamont Faust, a 48-year-old man from Athens, was arrested and charged with multiple serious offenses in connection with Tara's demise. These charges included slaying, 2 counts of felony slaying, 1 count of aggravated assault, and concealing the demise of another. Also, arson, possession of a knife during the commission of a felony, tampering with evidence, and 1 count of aggravated sodomy. The arrest of Faust marked a pivotal moment in the investigation, bringing a renewed sense of hope and justice to Tara's family and the community. This breakthrough was made possible through the use of advanced DNA analysis and other biological evidence, which had not been available at the time of the original investigation. The sophisticated forensic techniques employed by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Cold Case Unit and the Athens Clarke County Police Department provided the crucial link needed to identify and apprehend the suspect. Faust was promptly taken into custody and remains in jail on a $15,000 bond, as recorded by the Clarke County Sheriff's Office. Faust lived on Cooper Road in the same neighborhood off Lexington Road as Tara, who lived barely a block away on Fawn Drive in East Athens. According to Athens Clarke County Clerk of Court records, Faust has a long criminal history. Faust has dozens of arrests documented in the Athens Clarke County. Less than a month after Tara's demise, Faust was arrested and pleaded guilty to aggravated assault for cutting someone's neck. Faust was incarcerated between August 21, 1997 and July 20, 1999, as well as between May 1, 2001 and May 28, 2023. Faust's latest prior arrest was on March 3, 2022, when he was arrested for simple battery, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass. He pleaded guilty on November 14, 2022, He was given 50 hours of community service and 12 months probation. The severity of the charges for Tara's case reflects the heinous nature of the crime that had shocked the community more than 2 decades ago. Faust allegedly used an instrument when used offensively against a person that results in strangulation. He is accused of stabbing Tara in the neck with a knife with a blade longer than 3 inches and striking her head with a blunt object. Additionally, the warrants say that Faust assaulted Tara during the attack, hid her body, and tried to destroy evidence by setting her apartment on fire. The arrest was a significant development for Tara's family, who had endured years of heartache and uncertainty. Jerry Salters, now chief of the Athens Clark County Police Department, who was an officer at the crime scene on January 19, 2001, said, "For many years I have hoped the Baker family would find justice for the loss of Tara. This is a case that has lived with me throughout my career at ACCPD. I remember being there during that horrific time. Seeing this case now full circle, I appreciate the hard work of the detectives from then and now. Knowing that the evidence collected at that time contributed to the arrest today gives me tremendous pride in all the officers who worked this case over the years." The news brought a mix of relief and sorrow for her family, as they were finally given a tangible step toward justice for Tara, even as they were reminded of the tragic loss they had suffered. Tara's mother, Virginia Baker, reflected on the past 23 years and who Tara would have become. She said, "Please think of our Tara sometimes and the remarkable person she would have become. Hers was a life so full of promise. I am so grateful. I want people to know that prayers work. Do not ever stop praying. Do not ever stop having hope in your heart, because it can happen." Tara's sister, Meredith Baker Schroeder, also addressed Faust's recent arrest. "The past few days have been filled with a host of convoluted emotions, as if it were 23 years ago. We grieve. We grieve for Tara. We grieve for those we lost along the way, still waiting for answers. We grieve for the new generation that never will truly understand how amazing their Aunt Tara was. And we grieve for the Faust family. While we understand that this is the first step of many, we are grateful for this day." The arrest of Edric Lamont Faust for Tara Louise Baker's case brings long-awaited justice to a case that has gripped her family and community for over 2 decades. The breakthrough offers hope and solace, honoring Tara's memory and reminding us of the enduring quest for justice.